Hello everybody, this video is going to be on my 8x8 barrel cube that I made. It's actually called a SuperBarrel. If you see my video on my 5x5 SuperBarrel, you probably know why. It's because of the color scheme where pieces have to be in a specific place. Whereas if it was one full color, you could interchange pieces. But on this, you can't do that. So it's a lot more difficult to solve. In fact, it's extremely difficult to solve. And I'll go into more on that in a little bit once I tell you a little bit more about this puzzle. It is huge. I mean, this is quite a bit bigger than my 5x5 SuperBarrel. It's also a lot harder, like I was saying. And it's made out of a shengshou 8x8, of course, being the only 8x8 on the market. And as far as I know, this is the biggest barrel cube ever made. Now toppling over Tony Fisher's 7x7 barrel cube. And I think that he didn't make an 8x8 one because it's a knockoff cube and he didn't want to be part of that. I personally, I don't really care too much. So I decided to go ahead and make it. And a lot of people have been telling me that this is now, should be considered the world record. So I did put up their world record. If you guys have any reliable information, knowing that there is a bigger barrel cube out there, please let me know so I don't, mislead people by saying this is the world record barrel cube. So anyways, I'm going to go on to the turning of this now. The turning on this is actually very, very good. You can, turn this with one finger. It's extremely nice, actually. It turned out very good. And one thing I really like about this cube is how far the pieces actually go into the cube here. So you can really see that these edge pieces go way into the cube. And I thought that looks really neat, especially if you turn it like this. Now you can really see, if I go like that, it disappears. So I've really shaved down a lot of the edge pieces here. And it took quite a while to make. So I'm going to, give you a little demonstration of the turning. These layers are pretty good. These layers here are also very good and very odd shaped pieces here. As you can see, there's these little tiny pieces in L, and you can really see the inside of these pieces that are now exposed that wouldn't be usually exposed on a cubic puzzle. These layers are a bit catchy, the same as they were before I modded the cube. 8x8 cubes, they just have a bit catchy inner layers. So the middle layer is actually really good too, and the same with these layers. These outer layers though are just phenomenal. So I'll go through these ones now. As you can see, the puzzle turns very well. It took me, I guess, about, I couldn't really say exactly how many hours, but a lot of hours. I did live streams, a couple of live streams on the internet, and, people could see me sanding the pieces there. It was a lot of hours of work, trust me. So now we'll go on to these ones. I like turning these because you can turn it and it doesn't shapeshift, and it's very, very smooth. All of these layers are very, very smooth. And now it just looks like a big mess, but it's easy to get back by just matching up the colors again. Oh, here we go. So this is my fourth mod, and I think that is very good for a fourth mod. I do think, however, that I could have taken some time, some more time on the stickers, because the stickers are not cut very well. I'm not a professional. I think I'll replace that one completely. These corner ones, I don't know. It's just, this one's not too bad. But the stickers could have been cut better, I think. It's just, there's a lot of stickers, as you can see. And I really like this color scheme. However, the color scheme could be interchanged. But, on this one here, it's got a centerpiece, and that dictates what color these sides are. So you can't really interchange the color scheme. However, on here, which makes it extremely difficult, this is where it's going to come into, the difficulty of solving it, is that I can actually go like this, and then turn it like this, and then turn it like that. And the cube is still solved. I can turn it like this, and the cube is solved no matter what. And the reason for that is because it's basically a full corner that is colored one way. And so when I scrambled this thing up, not only did it look funky, but I had to make my own color scheme. So I picked 4 colors that were flat because these 4 pieces here are flat, but these 4 pieces, they're a little bit curved for the round. So it's more round. And so I cannot interchange this piece for this piece or this piece for this piece because these 2 pieces are curved differently. So every piece of this puzzle has to go in the same spot every time it's solved. What can be, changed is the color scheme. And yeah, as you can see, it is a shape-shifting puzzle, and we're going to go into that when we start scrambling it. I really don't want to scramble it. It is extremely difficult to solve. And now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the solving itself. So I did the centers on 5 of the edges, 5 of the centers. I started with the 2 flat sides, and that made my color scheme. And then I did 3 of these, and then on the 4th one, it was a big, giant, shape-shifted, colorful mess. And I tried, using all sorts of different algorithms and tactics. I contacted Super Antonio Vivaldi because he's the man. And, I asked him, like, how do I switch these 2 pieces? And he referred me to a video, and it didn't work because it would actually rotate everything else in one of these centers. And these pieces, I don't know. It is extremely difficult. The algorithms just don't seem to work. Either that, or I was just feeling too intimidated to see the progress I was making. I'm not sure exactly how it was. And I wanted this video to be up days ago, actually, but I couldn't solve the cube. So what I ended up doing, and I'm kind of ashamed to say it, is I took apart the whole center that was done, and I replaced it solved. Then I proceeded to do edge pairing. So I figured I could do edge pairing. But what I didn't realize is, that because these pieces, the centers will have this whole red section here, this whole red section, and this with all these edges being messed up, I have to keep the cube in this configuration while I'm doing edge pairing. So say I wanted an edge piece, this green big piece here, and say it was to be matched up with this. So say the red was here or whatever, right? And I go to match it up, and then I get, the piece up and out of the way so I can replace it with something else. I have to remember to put it back. And if I don't, I'm going to really destroy my color scheme. And I did destroy it because I didn't think about that. And the edge pairing is just as difficult as the last center. It's extremely difficult. In fact, if you recall, I think it was in, I'm not sure which video it was. I think maybe the hexaphobic, where I said that I am striving, I'm continually trying to find a puzzle that baffles me over and over again, something I can't solve. And every single puzzle that I buy, whether it's hundreds of dollars or $5 or whatever, it might be challenging a little bit, but it's not really. I can get it the first day. Within the first solve, I can usually solve any cube that I'm given, except for this. I had to go to the extreme and build something that's never been done before, some kind of super cube, 8-colored, shape-shifting cube, that it's never been done before. I had to go to that extreme in order to find something, and I'm very glad that I did it because, this is quite an accomplishment for me, I have to admit, and it's a very big challenge, and I don't know what to tell you about this cube. It kind of speaks for itself, So what I had to do in the end is actually dismantle the entire cube and put it back together solved, just so I could make this video. It is that difficult to solve. I'm kind of ashamed to admit it, but it truly is. It is one of the most, if it is the most difficult puzzle I've ever put my hands on before. And I'm kind of proud that I made it. I've been buying puzzles from other people, for a lot that are a little challenging, but then they're not. And I'm proud to have made the one that actually challenges myself. I wish other people had this puzzle because then they could really understand what I was talking about. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and scramble this thing up now. So we can just, I'm going to do some 180 degree scrambles, and we can move some of these. Sometimes when you're turning this layer here, it can be difficult because you have to realign everything again. And when it's round, you don't know where it is. So like usually I go by these big pieces here and I line them up like this. And see, I'm already scrambled to the point where I have to go and solve it now. And I have to because I'm going to solve it. I want to solve it, but after the first time, I was kind of put off by it because of its difficulty. It was sort of like, I don't know a metaphor I could use for that, but I'm sure you understand, something that you just kind of want to put on your shelf. Any of you have a latch cube? You know what I'm talking about. So, okay, so now that it's scrambled up like this, and you can really see how colorful that is. That is really colorful. So what I'm going to do now is turn it like this and maybe turn it that way. And the more shape-shifted and scrambled up this cube becomes, the more you have to keep it in alignment. And the reason for that is because pieces can pop. And I was talking to people on Facebook, and you're probably like, oh, you said it didn't pop on Facebook, but it does a little bit. Not too bad. You just got to make sure that your pieces are aligned. Otherwise, little pieces can pop out. It's not an explosion. It's one piece that pops out, and it's always the same piece. It's these little tiny pieces right here. Oh, you got to see. Oh, I really don't want to have to solve this, but I do. I want to solve it. You know what I mean? It's just so intimidating looking. Like, this is a beast of a puzzle. Like, I've never seen a puzzle quite like this before. And one thing I like about this now is that when it's in this form, you can really see that, you know, these pieces are way down inside there now, and you can see the insides of these pieces. And I don't know, it's just, there's just so many shapes and colors with this puzzle that it's quite intimidating, to be honest. I don't really know what to say. I feel like I'm not even doing a good job in this video. I'm sure I am. I mean, the cube is doing the job for me, but I don't know. There's not a lot to say about this. It speaks for itself, in my opinion. So there it is. I think that's good enough. That's pretty scrambled. So let's take a look at this close up. Look at how many pieces there are. Look at how many shapes there are and how many layers. I mean, being an even layered cube, not to mention it's a super cube, you're going to have parity. You're going to have you're going to have to know your color orientation, or in this case, you have to make it up and remember it for when you're doing edge pairing. You have to really be mindful of your work, because one mistake and you have ruined your solve. And wow, I don't know. I'm determined to solve this thing. Anyways, so I'm not going to make this too long. I'm sure that you guys can get a grasp on what this cube can mean to me. You know, like, imagine you building something like this. I mean, it means a lot to me to be the creator of something like this, and it really motivates me to want to create my own puzzles even more. I don't know what I can do to top this, but we'll see. I bought some other cubes that I'm going to do some mods with, and I think I might make a video about a couple of those after this video, so we'll see. Anyways, guys, that's my video. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you on my next video. Alright everybody, this video's question comes from Jump12ish, who asks, if you could modify a cube into any shape, what shape would you make it? Please leave your answers in the comment section below. I also want you to ask a question that might get picked for next week for everybody else to answer. Please leave your questions and answers in separate comments. It makes it a whole lot easier on me. And last video's question was, what do you do when you're alone? And here are some of your answers. Alright, instead of bloopers this time, I'm going to give you a quick status update. I don't like making full videos on status updates, so I'm just going to make one really quickly here instead. I don't have a lot of time, so let's get at it. First thing, I want to say hello to all my new subscribers. My name is Dan, and I make YouTube videos on YouTube, and I really enjoy interacting with my subscribers. Second thing is I'm back to work now, which means I don't have so much time to make YouTube videos. As you can tell, I haven't been putting out so many as I used to, but I will be making at least one a week, but I'll try to make two. You can guarantee at least one. As to what day that'll be out, I don't know yet. My schedule is really up and down. Hopefully I can get a set schedule, but I'm not sure quite yet. Some of the videos you can look forward to that are coming up are tutorials on cuboids, like the 4x4x5, the 5x5x4, and the 4x4x6. I'm also going to be redoing my PLL tutorials, which much better algorithms, and it's really well laid out. You can look forward to a new style of homepage that I'm actually quite excited to show you guys. Alright, thanks for watching.